So if you go to the next one here, just one thing, a lot of people ask me, what are we really doing here? So just a little bit about Elbit Systems. As you can see, we're no longer a startup. We are, however, pretty fast and I think very cool. So fast and cool still, I think, applies to us. We are a publicly traded company, traded in both the NASDAQ and the Tel-Aviv Stock Exchange, close to a $3 billion revenues, about 12,000 employees. Unique thing is about a third of our business is done in the US. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how we do and what we do here. We have 2,200 employees in the US. And our mission is to protect and save lives, which is pretty cool. It's a good, strong mission that our employees and our people really relate to. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we do with that. Pierre, if you go to the next one. Just from a perspective of a global and local company, I wanted to share with you some insights. Really, Elbit has selected a strategy that is both global and local. And I think one of the unique challenges of being global today in today's market is the fact that you still need to be close to the end user. I think some of the members of the panel before me talked about the need to be close to the customer. We deal in a unique area that has a lot of sensitivities associated with national security and other things which require, again, local stuff. And today, especially in the US, but all over the world, people are worried about jobs. So they want to see local capabilities in the local geographies. So the strategy Elbit took is to provide meaningful, local, organic capability in the target markets. And I think that's one of the things I can share with you just from a benefit for a lot of the new companies and the startups. There's always a discussion about the glass ceiling for Israeli companies. They grow up to be 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, and then they get either bought or stopped. And some of it has to do with a mindset of having to really spread and have organic capabilities around the globe. And that's what we have done, and I'll talk to you a little bit about our success. Pierre, if you go to the next one. We have significant presence in Israel. As you can see, 15 different sites, many companies. And what I want to tell you is that no matter what we do from a global capabilities, we still rely very heavily on innovation and technologies coming from Israel. And all of what I'm going to talk to you and show you today is all invented, created in Israel, and it's a business model that serves the basis of our success. Very unique capabilities that we bring around the world. If you go to the next one. So in the US, as you can see, this year we're about $1 billion and 2,200 employees. But I can tell you, we started in 1991 with a handful of people. We've had about a 15% CAGR, about half of it organic and half of it acquisitions. As you can see, we have formed joint ventures, industrial relationships. We even have a California presence. Not large, but for 15 years we've been operating in the Bay Area in a joint venture. We started with Kaiser Electronics and now with Rockwell Collins. We're the world leader through the joint venture of helmet-mounted display systems. What's unique, I think, about us that even though we've grown from a handful of employees to 2,200 employees, our business model has evolved but stays pretty much grounded in the notion of, again, leveraging Israeli innovation, Israeli technology, and coming up with custom, specific US targeted solutions. What we've done is we've augmented the business model with a lot of organic capabilities. But again, the core is bringing Israeli innovation to the US, finding solutions for US customer needs, and making them custom-made, adaptive to their needs. If you go to the next one, just some good evidence about the innovation and their rewards for that. Elbit has been a recipient of numerous Israeli defense and national security awards. And actually, the information that we have is that the next one in 2011 is going to go to Elbit for the capability I'm going to show you in the next couple of slides. So it will be interesting to see what they're rewarded for. If I look just at the specific next one on security, really, when you look at Elbit's focus of the last year, very increased focus from defense to homeland security as well. Elbit is one of the largest provider of manager of systems for security. Many of those systems are deployed, a combination of information technology system, border control, physical security, information assurance, cyber protection, sensors, reconnaissance. And the unique thing about Elbit is the ability to integrate all of those systems that you see over there, all the way from the UAV to the border access, to sensors, to IR, the fusion of those capabilities to provide really a capability for command controller for understanding of what's happening. If you go next, one of the really emerging capabilities that I'm going to talk to you a little bit about is the whole issue of disaster preparedness. And the picture in here is a picture of a dedicated facility in Ramleh that's used by the Home Fort Command in Israel, that's used to simulate and train first responders and various people for addressing incidents. I'm going to show you a quick video from a Channel 10 in Israel that talks about the videos in Hebrew with subtitles in English, and it shows some of the capabilities to this. So Pierre, if you can roll the first video, I'd appreciate that.
נפילות בגזרת תל אביב.
נזיקו מחוץ לאצטדיון, יש הרבה אש, אזור קאדר דקל, שכרגע אנחנו יודעים שיש שם חלק, לא יודעים איזה.
נפילות קרובות שם, מה שאומר שיש פריצת מיגון.
אולי לא שמתם לב, אבל תל אביב עלתה היום בלהבות.
כרגע נפלו 6 טילים בגזרתנו, גם מלבנון וגם מסוריה.
מתקפת הטילים מסוריה ומלבנון כללה גם טילים קונבנציונליים, גם טילים קימיים.
שים לב שיש לך ענן חלף מתקרב לכיוונך.
הנה הפגיעה בבניין שמול עיריית תל אביב, הנה פגיעה ישירה באצטדיון בלומפילד. אלפים רבים של נפגעים, בלגן אחד גדול.
אנחנו לא יודעים עוד אם הם כימיים בטוח, יש אנשים שמפרפרים.
יש לנו נפילה במיכאל אנג'לו, באזור יפו, בבלומפילד, אוקיי? יש לנו על דרך נמיר, יש לנו על איילון, יש לנו ליד הקאנטרי והדקל.
הסימולטור החדש של פיקוד העורף מדמה את כל אזור תל אביב, את הרחובות, הכבישים, השדרות והאנשים. העיר הלבנה תהיה גם היעד מספר 1 לטילים ורקטות בכל סיבוב נוסף.
זה נפילה של טיל כימי במרכז תל אביב, כאשר הענן מתפשט בעיר, כמות הנפגעים אם הם יפרקסו או אם הם יקיעו, בהתאם לתרחיש שקורה.
וביום שבו פיקוד העורף חונך את הסימולטור החדש הזה, אלוף הפיקוד יאיר גולן מטריע בפני ועדת חוץ וביטחון, ל-40% מאזרחי ישראל אין מסכות כי אין תקציב, ל-24% מהם אין מיגון.
הסימולטור המתוחכם הזה שבנתה חברת אלביט לפיקוד העורף אמור לדמות את הדבר האמיתי. כל הנתונים פה, כמו הטיל הזה שנפל בים, טילים קימיים, טילים קונבנציונליים מלבנון, מסוריה, הכל מתבסס על נתוני אמת שיש היום גם באגף המודיעין וגם בפיקוד העורף, על איך זה אמור להיראות בדבר האמיתי.
במרחב אזרחי לא תמיד ניתן להיכנס לכל הבתים. במרחב אזרחי לא ניתן להיכנס לכל רחוב. אי אפשר לחסום מכבישים. אי אפשר להפעיל כוחות המשטרה איך שאנחנו רוצים. פה המערכת עושה את זה אחד לאחד.
אבל גם עם הסימולטור החכם הזה לפיקוד העורף ברור, כשיפלו כאן טילים על אמת, זאת תהיה אופרה אחרת לגמרי.
Okay, thank you. So basically what you've seen is really when you look at the complex environment for disaster preparedness, you've looked basically at a capability to simulate an overall urban, very complex urban environment, various threat events. Some of them are human-induced, some might be God-induced or nature-induced, whatever you want to believe. And what you can see is that Israel is now using a very high-fidelity simulation training system that allows the disaster planning, allows to prepare the first responders, fire, police, the IDF, and all that, to do that. And that's the kind of technology that we're bringing, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the applications also in the US. If you go to the next one. If you look at this, the unique thing is it's a collaborative environment that really allows multiple levels of engagement. So if you look at the US environment, one of the things that's unique, you have various levels. You have a state level, you have a local, which can be a county or city. You have a first responder, which can be the individual fire department or police department. And the unique capability here is to engage all of those in a very cost-effective way to simulate an incident, to simulate the response, to look for holes, to look for what needs to be done. It's a very, very effective way to, again, leverage high-end fidelity graphics, simulation capabilities with computers. If you go to the next one, so if I look really at some of the applications in US others, you know, what happened in Japan in March is a pretty interesting scenario because you've really had a triple event. You had all the way from a 9.0 earthquake, followed by a tsunami, followed by a nuclear meltdown, and the ability to really recreate a scenario like this with physical means is just not possible. And what you have really with the simulation is the ability to go into very, very complex simulation to really understand what's going to happen. If you look in the US, for example, FEMA is doing an annual exercise. The last one was in May along the Madrid Fault in the Midwest. But it's very expensive. It's almost impossible to simulate all the things. You can do all that with the tool, with the capabilities we're talking about. And again, what you can do is you can tie everybody into this simulation. In Japan, even though Japan was one of the countries that was most prepared, trained from a population for various incidents, all of you have read in the news and saw how unprepared eventually they were for the culmination of all those events. So when you really look at what we're doing is we're providing a capability, a breakthrough capability to train, to simulate, to prepare, both for human threats and natural disasters. As you can see, CalEMA is, for example, the California Emergency Management Agency that is definitely looking across the Pacific about those kind of things and how to prepare California for that. But the same applies for many, many other places in the US. So just to talk to you about, again, how we bring those capabilities from Israel, from the beta site in Israel into the US. If you go to the next one, I think that's actually the last slide that I had. So again, just in summary, I think what I wanted to give you is an example of how we evolved from a startup basically in 1991 to $1 billion organization in the US, preserving the business model of bringing innovative Israeli technology and capabilities to the US for various things. The next front for us is homeland security, disaster preparedness, all those incidents to prepare this nation and others for those kind of events. Thank you very much.